Am I the asshole for moving out of my parents' house and skipping a family reunion because my parents keep including my sister's best friend? I'm 17 years old, my sister Lana is 15 years old, and her best friend Meg is 15 years old. Lana and Meg have been best friends forever, and Meg was always over at our house. It was never a big deal before. I knew she had a crush on me years ago, but I always expected it to go away, and I never encouraged it. I came out when I was 13 years old, too, so I figured Meg would realize she never stood a chance. I thought at least Lana would help her try to focus on someone else. But Meg's crush either came back or became fully realized a year ago, and she has been so over-the-top flirting with me and being inappropriate. I spoke to Lana, I spoke to my parents, and I even tried speaking to Meg. My parents told me she's a kid and it is a harmless crush. They dismissed the real concerns I had about how far Meg was willing to go. They told me it is normal for kids to go a little crazy over a crush, especially when their crush is so present in their lives. When I told them it made me uncomfortable, they said Meg is a part of the family. She is Lana's best friend, and she will always be welcome. I have found Meg in my room going through my stuff. She stole items out of my closet, she slept in my bed when I was not home one night, and she even came to me in the middle of the night when she was sleeping over, saying she got scared and wanting to climb into my bed. We have a pool in our yard, and Meg has tried to slip off her bikini top in front of me before. She's tried touching me in ways I do not like and do not feel comfortable with. It got so bad that I stopped spending time outside last summer because I was freaking out that she might strip in front of me and try to do something and could get one or both of us hurt if I moved away too fast. I had to start locking my bedroom door, but she would still try to get in. She would always insist on sitting next to me at lunch or dinner, and if she was included in a family movie night, she would try to cuddle up to me. I avoided the couch for that reason, but even in one of the chairs, she would either sit on the arm or even suggest sitting on my lap, or she would take the floor next to me. Nobody would ever tell her to stop except for me, and nobody had my back. She was like that in school, too, and I got some help there. A couple of teachers stepped in and told her she could not harass me. One time, she tried following me into the boys' bathroom, and she got into big trouble for it. My parents and Lana were upset I got Meg into trouble over that. When they found out I was telling teachers everything, they acted like I was overreacting and being super harsh on poor Meg. It was after that I called my grandparents and told them what was happening, and they said I could move in with them. Since I was 17 years old and I knew my parents would resist, I just did not tell them. They were angry and tried very hard to make me move back in. They gave up when I told them to go away, in not those exact words, but I did curse. Meg and Lana tried to visit my grandparents' house since I moved in. My grandparents stopped them at the door, and they have told Lana she can visit them if she wants, but Meg is not welcome. Last weekend, my wider family had a family reunion at the lake house they all share. Meg was invited to keep Lana company, and when my grandparents and I heard that, we all skipped the reunion. I told them they could go, but they said someone needed to stand in my corner, and they were the ones to do it. When we did not show up, my parents' anger got worse, and they accused me of taking this too far again, and said I was acting like a scared kid. They told me to get over it, that Meg is only a kid, that I moved out of my house and avoided my family over a 15-year-old girl with a crush. I asked what would happen if I had to physically push Meg off of me sometime. What if she got hurt physically because I avoided her? They told me I do not need to get physical to stop her, and I am being overdramatic. They told me if I brought a date, there would be no issue. But I tried that. A friend came along as a fake boyfriend to a party before I moved out, and Meg was still flirting and trying to touch me. My grandparents have told my parents repeatedly since I moved in that they are disgusted with the fact they let things get so bad. They wanted my parents to know they blame them completely and feel they should have done a better job protecting me. At one point, they even told my parents they didn't deserve the title because they were failing. Am I the asshole? Top comments. I am sorry. You are being harassed and assaulted in front of your parents, and no one is protecting you except for your grandparents. They are dismissive either because she's a girl, or because they love her so much, or because they are deep down homophobic. But the why is irrelevant. The fact is they are being incredibly selfish for putting you in this position, and Meg sounds unwell. This is not typical crush behavior, no matter what they say. It crossed the line long ago. And if they refuse to act, you need to protect yourself. So stay with your grandparents and limit contact until they get it.
And never, ever be alone with Meg under any circumstances. Her behavior is unhinged and could escalate into a precarious situation for you if she ever realizes that she truly has no shot. Not the asshole. Author. I am never alone with her now. I started splitting my time between school online from home and actually going to school, and when I go to school, I always have a friend with me, even to use the bathroom now, which is humiliating in so many ways, but we know Meg will not stop because of that. She already followed me in before. Comment. I would guess that your parents are not as comfortable with your sexuality as they may have pretended, and are secretly hoping Meg will somehow win and make you straight again. Honestly, it's ridiculous, but I have come across it more than once. A parent outwardly professing support for their LGBTQ kid, but secretly conspiring in some crazy hope they can change their mind. And yes, they are failing you and not protecting you from sexual harassment. Not the asshole. Author. I don't know if it's about that or Meg in particular, or this idea that guys can't be uncomfortable with attention like that. All I know is they never helped me with this and acted like I was being a drama queen for wanting it to stop. I don't even think the reason why matters as much. At least I have my grandparents. They stepped up when they didn't have to.
Comment. Not the asshole, and this just breaks my heart. Meg is not just a kid. She is 3 years from being considered an adult. She is old enough to know better. She is literally sexually harassing you. It is good you have your grandparents on your side at least to protect you. The fact she tried following you into the bathroom, something that anyone would be in trouble for, and your parents flipped, is gross. It does not matter if she was a boy or a girl doing it to the opposite gender. It is sad they are protecting her over their own flesh and blood child. It is probably best to limit contact with them to keep yourself safe from Meg. Do not let anyone guilt you. You did nothing wrong. And I may be an internet stranger, but I am proud of you for protecting yourself and getting out of that situation. Author. Thank you. That really encourages me to keep going when I get support from the people who also see how bad this is. There were times I doubted things because I got no support from my parents or sister. Comment. What the fuck? Your parents are complete idiots. Going through your stuff, trying to climb in bed with you, sit on your lap, the bikini top. Yeah, you are on your way to a criminal charge if she decides to get mad at you for constantly fending her off and cries assault or something. You did the right thing by telling the school, moving out, and avoiding her. Why have her parents not gotten involved? This goes beyond just a crush. Always protect yourself. Not the asshole. Author. That worried me this whole time. If she cried about me doing something to her, it would destroy me. Not to mention if she tried to say I got her pregnant or something. Ugh, I hate being so paranoid about it, but it was like that when I still lived with my parents. Comment. Not the asshole. I am not sure if it is because you are gay or because you are male, but their inability to take this seriously is beyond infuriating. Honestly, you should list the things that she has done and then look up in the local police code what she would be charged with and ask if it is still not serious. I really think your parents and sister need a scared straight session with a victim's advocate. They seem very unwilling to accept that her crush is actually sexual harassment and that it is damaging. They have completely entitled her to harass and abuse you and have been angry with you for reporting her. Just to be clear, you have told her directly that you find her attentions uncomfortable and that you are not interested in any relationship with her at all, correct? Did you tell her parents about her actions? Has anyone? I really think it is time she faced some consequences and, more importantly, got the help she needs. Have you considered getting an order of protection against her? Because once you turn 18 years old, it becomes really dangerous for you. She can start accusing you of sexual assault and you would be charged as an adult. I feel like it is very important to get it on the record in the court system that she is a threat to you. And honestly, I don't think it would hurt to have a judge tell your parents and sister that this crush is criminal harassment and stalking. Author. I told her I was uncomfortable, and I asked her and told her to stop. I even stated what actions made me uncomfortable, and she kept doing them anyway. I'm too afraid to talk to her parents. They know about me, and they are openly very homophobic, so I avoided that because I didn't know what they would do to me. My grandparents looked into finding out if we could get a restraining order or something against her for me. But because a lot of it will be he said, she said, and my parents and sister who witnessed the most will back her up, it would be impossible. Comment. You are absolutely not the asshole.
What you are describing is straight-up sexual harassment, and it is disturbing that your parents are dismissing it as just a crush. If the genders were reversed, people would be freaking out. The fact that you had to literally move out of your own home to escape this situation speaks volumes. Your grandparents sound like the only adults actually acting like adults here. They see what is happening and are standing by you. Your parents' "she's just a kid" excuse is bullshit. At 15 years old, Meg is old enough to understand boundaries, especially after being told repeatedly. You tried talking, you tried bringing a fake date, you even had teachers step in. What more could you possibly do? Stand your ground on skipping events where she is invited. Your mental health and physical boundaries matter. I'm genuinely glad your grandparents have your back when your parents failed you.
Write what you think about this situation. Who did the right thing, and who is the asshole? Let's discuss it in the comments. In the meantime, let's move on to the next story.
Am I the asshole for cutting off contact with my mom and sister after not being invited to the family reunion? My 30 female sister, 33 female, has always been really awful to me. For background, as kids, she would bully me, making comments about what I looked like or wore, and as an adolescent, she made a lot of comments about my body that ultimately led me to have an eating disorder as a teen. I have since recovered, but it was very damaging. When I was in my 20s, my sister would only speak to me if she needed money and would give me the cold shoulder when I had to stop sending her money because I had a baby and recently purchased a home and could not afford to anymore. Years later, she refused to sit with me at my mother's, 64 female, wedding and was very critical of me to the point where I decided to stop speaking to her for a year. We talk now, but overall our relationship has been strained because of this. I will forgive her for something she says or does, she is nice for a while, and then returns to doing something else pretty awful. My mom has always been a very hands-off and neglectful parent, even as kids. She will talk to you if you call her or text her, but she does not go out of her way to connect or do much parenting, and it has kind of always been that way. This leads me to my current situation. I live a few states away, attending a master's program, but I am currently on a 2-month break from my program from June to the end of August. My mom and sister are both aware of this break. It is important to note that my mom and I talk or text at least 3 to 4 days a week, and my sister and I talk at least 2 to 3 times a month. One day, I received a text from my mom at 3 a.m. saying that she is about to board a plane to visit my aunt, her sister, who lives states away. This was surprising because they have not really spoken much in about 20 years, and my mom does not enjoy flying. When she landed, I asked what was going on, and she said my sister planned a family reunion. I was confused and texted my aunt. She was not aware anyone was coming to visit besides my sister, but asked me to video chat with her the next day. On video chat, to my surprise, my aunt, her life partner, and my grandfather, all of whom I have not seen in person since I was 2 or 3 years old, my mom, my sister, her girlfriend, and my sister's 3 kids were all present. My aunt said my sister planned a family reunion and asked why I was not there. I told her that no one told me about it, despite knowing I was on summer break. Seeing everyone together and being completely left out was really hurtful, and I knew I was not told because my sister planned it, but I was just as upset at my mom because she knew about it and did not say anything. I reflected on my feelings about this for a week or two and decided to communicate how I felt to both my mom and sister in a text. I told them I was hurt that they left me out of that, and it made me feel like I was not a part of their family. All my sister said was that she did not purposely not invite me, but due to our history I found this unlikely. She did not think it was a big deal, and that if I wanted to talk later that day about it over the phone, she would call me. However, my mom's response made the whole situation worse because she said they planned this event in February and that she had been really stressed about the whole thing, and how should she know my sister would not tell me, and that it is not her place to tell me what my sister was planning. I was shocked. They both had so many opportunities to mention it to me, and neither of them were taking accountability for not communicating. I did not respond to either of them for a week. My mom texted and said she cares about me and does not want a relationship ruined by a lack of communication. My sister has not texted me since her original message, and I do not expect her to. I told my mom that I'm considering if I should continue trying being in contact with either of them any longer because they did not even consider one time in 5 months that I should be included in this family reunion, and they both have a history of treating me like an outcast. She denied what I said, reiterating that my sister should have mentioned it to me and it was not her responsibility. She also said she does her best to talk to me when she can, despite not working for the last 10 years and spending most of her time at home alone, and be emotionally supportive. I did not answer because it just seemed like an unproductive conversation. So am I the asshole for wanting to cut off contact with them? I understand my sister is most at fault, but they both had equal opportunities to mention it. What advice do you have to navigate this situation? Top comments. Comment. Get grief counseling. The family you thought you had never existed. Comment. Create an email to your extended family with all your contact information and also let them know that your mom and sister did not invite you to the reunion and it hurt you to not see them. Tell them life is short and please keep in contact with you because your mom and sister will not pass on information or invitations. Author. I'm in therapy, and my therapist said something similar. I was really upset about this situation, and he said it was because I'm essentially grieving a loss. It's frustrating because years of staying in contact with them has only led to more and more disappointment, especially with my sister. My family all live in different states, but I think you made a good point about explaining to the other members of my family why I'm deciding to do this. Comment. If you do decide to go low contact or no contact with them, original poster, be sure to tell the entire family why, in detail. Ideally, tell the extended family before you tell your sister, so you can get your side of the story out there first, and it's not like she deserves the courtesy of being informed first.
What do you think about this situation? Who do you think is a jerk, and who did the right thing? Share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel to get more cool and interesting stories. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.